I pretty much knew in the 9th grade what I wanted to do. Now, I didn't pick state patrol, but I knew I wanted to be a police officer of some sort. And so I did some ride-alongs with New Ulm Police. They knew that I had an interest, and they were very accommodating. They were mentors before there was the term mentor. I had 2 years, 9 months with New Ulm PD as a dispatcher before I joined the State Patrol. I guess the uniformity, the uniform appearance, sort of the discipline that came through, it just seemed, I could have worked for any number of departments and been just as happy. But the State Patrol was my pick. So I was one of 21 recruits, 16-week academy. I was assigned to the Minneapolis station. For most of the years that I was there, I worked permanent dog watch in the freeways of Minneapolis. That was the best part of my career. Those are the best memories because it was the basic job, it was exciting pursuits, handling crashes that were complex. And I lost track of the number, but I went to a lot of fatal crashes before I went to even one that did not involve impairment. So it made an impression. This is a pretty important thing, prevent these things from happening. And that's kind of been the theme since then, even the job at the BCA. So I worked in that station for almost 9 years. I transferred to my hometown of New Ulm for a year, and then I began to promote. So I was still pretty young, and so I became a lieutenant in the Detroit Lakes District for 3 years. Then I took a promotion to captain in the Mankato District, where I served for 11 years. And then I was promoted to major in headquarters, where I served my last 12 years. A week before I retired, I was involved in a pursuit and a DWI arrest because I always went out and worked. I didn't want to become an out-of-touch boss. So I always would try to get into the field a couple times a month and work an overnight shift. That served me well. Some did say, well, that really is leadership by example. Maybe, but for me it was selfish. I never lost the love of the basic job. When I started, we didn't even have portable radios until about 1985. So if you were out in a fight, which happens, you either got your butt kicked, or you won the fight, or you found some way to get back to the squad car and grab the mic because you had no means to communicate. We went from that to basically light years ahead in terms of technology, and a lot of people are responsible for that. I just had a little part in making it happen, but others deserve the credit. E-charging to DWI arrests is a lot like TurboTax to filing your taxes. It takes an incredibly complex, multiple form process, laborious and time-consuming, and it breaks it down into a very user-friendly online system. I think we're at 107 consecutive months where 99.9% of all DWIs are processed online. That has saved thousands, tens of thousands of hours at driver and vehicle services, for the Attorney General's office, for the officers and deputies and troopers in the field, for the record staff. Incredible efficiency, going from dark ages to a modern system. The BCA is proud of it. We've gotten a lot of recognition around the country. Many states have looked to Minnesota to say, how did you get this done? And so we've done a lot of presentations, and what we have is pretty impressive. Advice: find something you love to do and then find a way to get paid for it. I was given that gift. I knew what I wanted to do, and somebody was willing to take a risk on this young punk from New Ulm and hire me and give me a chance. And then to tolerate some of the mistakes that were made as I matured. I didn't always treat everybody with the respect that I should have. I had maturing to do before I realized, okay, this is what it means to be a public servant, really a servant heart. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to take abuse, you have a job to do, you have to enforce the law, but you really are a servant of the people. DPS is a good place to work. State Patrol is a good agency. BCA is a good agency. There's a lot of good agencies out there. I could pick over 150 law enforcement agencies that I've had contact with and say I could work for them and be proud of it. So we're not the only game in town, but we're a good pick for somebody that's looking for a career. Work friends become your friends, and often they become off-duty friends. Now, it's been said and written by some real experts that one of the dangers of law enforcement is your circle of friends becomes a little bit too job-related I don't know that I suffered from that, but I will say that the best of times have been with people that I work with, you know, fishing trips and off-duty parties. I do hope you put the piece in about family, because they're a huge part of anybody's success, and they don't get thanked enough. I didn't thank them enough, but I will. I'm doing it. But along the way, you don't pause and realize how much they've given for your success. And as I've spent these recent weeks looking back, I get choked up and humbled thinking about the sacrifices they made. When I was off doing my thing and having fun, they were at home. When my job came first, which happened way too often, they came second or third. And so one of my goals in retirement is I can't make up for that, but I'll try a little bit to make up for it. But their support is perhaps the most important thing about my career, that they allowed me to choose and promote and take different assignments. They left their friends, the church they loved, the school that they were used to, what was normal for them. I just went to a different office. They really had to make the big sacrifice, and that's perhaps my most important point of all.